everyone, I'm Crystal. Welcome. I'm going to be doing 6 prompts today and create this book too. Let's get started. I told you I was going to do it and I'm going to do it. I love these candy stamps, so I'm going to use them on this page, number 9. Create confetti. I grabbed some random papers that I have and these scissors I just got at a Goodwill this weekend. They cut out a decorative edge and I thought this would be perfect to make confetti. I'm not going to make the pieces really small because that's going to be really tedious to glue down. Alright, I've got my confetti cut out and now I'm going to assemble my candies at the top because I want this page to kind of look like the art where you put the crayons on the top and the melted crayon just kind of streams down.
I do know I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 4 there. And let me see if I can put 5 here.
Now that I've got these all attached, I'm going to go ahead and arrange my confetti. I have this EK Tools reverse tweezers and basically they're automatically shut, and when you push down, that's when they open. So I'm going to use those to arrange my confetti around. If you're thinking I'm crazy for putting all this confetti down and then having to stick it all down, I totally get you. I would think I'm crazy too, but I've got a trick. Check this out. Glad Press and Seal is awesome. I'm going to chop a little piece and I'm going to lay it on top, and then I'm just going to let it do its job. I'm going to press it down and then I'm going to flip it. Isn't that insane and awesome? Now I'm gonna put glue on these. In case you're wondering, I'm using Multimedia Matte by Ranger. And then I'm gonna flip it around again. Tap, 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 and then check this out. I can just go in carefully, boom. Isn't that wild? Okay, now we can just let that dry. And let's move on to this page. I will definitely be Mod Podging this just to make sure it all lays flat, but let's go ahead and paint these in. Instead of COPIC markers today, I'm going to use water-based markers. These aren't the best markers, so I'm not going to recommend them or really even focus on the brand because I don't recommend them. But I do have them, so I may as well use them. Maybe I should have used my Copics. I wanted to give them one last chance, but honestly, they are not really good. The thing about these markers is that they tear up the paper, so I'm not sure if I'm just not using them right or what, but they seem not to work for me. I think I will try them again, but with a different paper. Here's the final product. It doesn't really look like the confetti is crumbling down from the candies or dripping down from the candies, but that's okay. It's still really fun. I don't know if you can tell, but the candies are shiny because I added glossy accents from Ranger. So it makes them a little three-dimensional and really shiny. Now that this page is done, let's get started with the next one. Create a page of lyrics. Write the lyrics to a song here. I looked through my stamps and I found this mermaid stamp, and I thought of sirens that sing deadly songs, so I made up my own simple song to go with this stamp. I definitely learned my lesson from the last layout, so I'm going to make sure and use my Copic markers. I want her hair to be purple, so I'm going to start with my darkest color. Then I'm going to go in with my mid-tone. I'm going to go over the dark as well as bring out the mid-tone. And then I'm going to go in with my lightest color. I need more purple, so this one doesn't really go, but I'm going to kind of force it by going over it over and over again. She's a beautiful sea creature, so it only makes sense that her skin tone would match the color of the sea. And I thought my siren should camouflage into the ocean, so I made her green, blue, purple, and that way pirates and boat goers wouldn't see her and she would just creep up on them and start singing. Speaking of singing, the song I came up with was "Do not fear what you hear. Our lips sway your mind, but we are kind. We only want to haunt your dreams and bathe in your screams. Do not fear what you hear." What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. With an emoji of a mermaid. For my background, I knew that I wanted to blend out my Prismacolor pencils, so I put a bunch of different blues and greens in the ocean, and then I did a night sky. I figured that in the night is when sirens are most deadly, because not only do they camouflage, but they also blend into the night Here's the page all blended out with my Prismacolor blender pencil. I'm just gonna add some finishing touches. This is the Ranger Liquid Pearls in the gray. I'm also gonna add stickles, which is glitter glue by Ranger. Lastly, I'm gonna add some dots and some little stars with my 08 Jelly Roll pen in white. I love how this page came out. I love the blended background. I love the dots all over the night sky. And I love that my little image is holding a shell and that my siren is facing the song on the right-hand side page. Pages 12 and 13 instruct to create a comparison using colors I love and dislike. These printed postcards are from a store called Simon Says Stamp. I had initially intended for this one to go here and this one go here because I'm not a big fan of chocolate chip cookie colors, but obviously fate had another plan in mind. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make these chocolate chip cookie colors and I'm gonna make these cupcake colors. We'll see how it turns out. These are printed on watercolor paper, so I'm gonna be using my Derwent Inktense pencils, which are these. They're super vibrant and dry really fast, and they're great for layering. So let's get started. First up, I'm gonna use Cherry number 0510. And one of my favorite ways to use these pencils is to bring a water brush to the tip and grab some color. And then just like watercolor, you can color with it. I've done a really soft wash of rainbow because I like all of the colors of the rainbow, but I like them in really pastel colors. For what seems to be the blanket or the tablecloth, I'm gonna do my favorite color in these pencils, which is Teal Green 1300. But this one, I don't want it to be pastel. I'm gonna go in with my white Jelly Roll pen and just kind of fix the edges. Normally with watercolor, you could probably pick up some of this color, but these Inktense pencils stain. I'm not going for perfection here, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit. For the chocolate chips, I'm gonna go in with my glitter roll pen and color them in that way. As much as I love color, my all-time favorite color is black. So I'm gonna color in the letters with my black Jelly Roll pen. On this side, I'm gonna start with the gray. I'm gonna make all of these cupcakes, chocolate cupcakes, to match the chocolate chips that would have gone over here. Like watercolors, the Inktense pencils do dry back, so they dry a little lighter than when you put them down. So I thought of going with the darker chocolate, which I really enjoyed. And originally I had intended to use red as the blanket color, so that's why I used it as the accent color. Generally speaking too, I'm not a big fan of red. I find it really bright and bold, which is nice. It has its place in the rainbow, but it's not a color that I reach for a lot. I tend to reach more for pinks. Now don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like this. So I guess I don't know if it really counts as the prompt being completed because I really like this. I think it is cute. It's just that compared to these colors, I prefer this one. Here's a close-up. And another one bites the dust. I have to admit that this page is making me feel a little uncomfortable. So it's Create a Merge, pages 14 and 15. I stamped out different little critters that I could find, and my idea is to chop off some heads and switch them around. That's gonna be my merge. A little morbid, but I'm curious to see how it turns out. All right, this is getting dark real quick, but I have some bodies and now I'm gonna put some heads. I'm gonna put the raccoon, I can't stop laughing. I'm gonna put the raccoon head on the duck body. So maybe we can put this one here, this one here, and let's go ahead and stick these down with my dot liner. Oh my goodness, this is too funny. Oh my god, this one looks like it has an ear. Oh, it's so weird. I didn't know if I wanted to color the heads one color and the body is another color, or if I wanted to make it all just one creature, all the same color, but because the prompt says to merge something, I made the creatures. I made the critters all solid, like they go together. They are so funky. Okay, here are my creepy little critters. I made them and I regret everything, and yet I regret nothing at the same time. I love them so much. On to pages 16 and 17, let's create integration. There's this line here, and what I decided was to create kind of like power line posts. I had to Google one, so that's why this one's already here, but I'm gonna go ahead and draw the other one here. To actually draw them in, I'm gonna use my Staedtler 4 pigment liner pack. It actually has 6 liners in here because it has free ones. I'm not too worried about the straight lines because this is the fun part for me, kind of creating my own art that's imperfect. For me, Create This Book 2 is an art journal / prompt book that I want to look back on and smile. And what always makes me laugh is the silly mistakes that I made or remembering that I tried fixing them. So if you happen to also be working on Create This Book 2, I'd encourage you not to worry about the mistakes or not being the perfect artist that you wish you were. Just accept the artist that you are now and love that artist. Because at the end of the day, these pages are going to get done and it's going to feel so good to finish them. In case you didn't already know or figure it out, I'm going to be putting bird stamps up here. These bird stamps are too cute. I feel like they're all looking at this guy and this guy's just awkwardly thinking, why are they all staring at me? For my background and my posts, I'm going to use my Prismacolor pencils, and for my birdies, I'm going to use my Derwent Inktense pencils. I'm just using the side of my lead and I'm not pressing down very hard. One, because I want to layer up my colors and this paper has no tooth to it, so I have to layer lightly. And another reason is I don't have to press hard with the colored pencils. I'm going to go in with my blender pencil anyway, and that'll deepen and blend in the colors. I'm actually thinking that instead of using my blender pencil, I'm going to be using the blender marker. I have it, but I haven't really used it, so I'm going to give it a shot today. It's called a colorless blender, and it is by Prisma. I've used it a couple of times, so it does have some ink on it, or color on it I should say, but I did wipe it off and it came out clear, so it should be good to go. It's not a color, but it does say PM121 at the end. I have used this marker before, but it's been a while, and I think I now remember why I don't like it. It smells really strong of alcohol, kind of like the colorless blender by COPIC. COPIC markers can have an alcohol scent, but it's very faint. This is really strong. I think I was a little heavy-handed with the red, so I'm going to go in with the brown, but first I'm going to blend this one. I don't want to go into the other page, so I'm just going to put something underneath it. It's interesting because depending on how you blend it, it drags the color differently. So here I was going up and down and you could see the straight lines, and here I was doing circles and it blends better. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. I'm only going to color in the sky from here up, but I kind of want to try doing an ombre where it goes from darker blue to lighter blue to white. I've colored in the background, however, I don't think I'm going to blend it out because I really like how cartoony it looks, and I really like the texture of the pencil. I think it complements the sketchy shadows on the birdies. What I am going to do is use this die cut set to cut out some clouds. I'm going to bring in my small die cut machine, and I'm going to use that same paper that I was using to clean off my blender marker, flip it over, put my die, some washi tape, and my cutting plates, and run it through. And then we have a cloud. I'm gonna cut one more out. I'm also gonna add some sketchy lines to my posts. The paper I used to stamp these images is not watercolor paper, so what I'm gonna do instead of wetting the tip of the pencil and then putting down the color is I'm gonna color in similar to how I use a color pencil, and then I'll go over it with some water to blend it out. When I do that, the water doesn't get as big of a chance to saturate the paper because I'm just melting the color on top. So I have paper, then pencil, then water, as opposed to paper and then just a whole bunch of water. And it worked out great. There you have it, just one more layout to go, and I created integration. Yay! Do you remember the prompt where it said fill this space? If you don't, I'll link it above. It was in the previous video, and this is the other one in that stamp set. So I'm going to use this one to create a puzzle. Here's my puzzle all cut out and assembled. You can't really tell that it's a puzzle yet, but I think once I color in the artwork, it'll be more obvious. I used my COPIC alcohol markers to color these pieces in. I did my best again to make sure and put the caps on the screen so you can see what colors I'm using in case you like them. I'm not as great at doing that with my colored pencils, but I'll work on it. I had to turn the page a few times to get the right angle to color it in. It gets a little tough when you're recording and trying to color in. I feel like I can't be as precise, but practice makes better, so we'll see how I'm doing in a few videos from now. I often wonder if you guys even want to see the colors or if you just want me to kind of cut in different places, but I guess I know that it's my call at the end of the day, but I get kind of curious what you guys prefer. If you care to share, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Here's my puzzle all done. I also outlined the pieces, but I'm not too sure if it actually added or took away from it. I still love it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And for the next one, I have something special.